In a perfect world, every designer on a team would do several things. They would use the same column grid or coordinate system. Every model would use the same scale and units. And everyone would agree on where the origin should be placed. Unfortunately, the world is not perfect.
In this video, I want to reveal to you a move that Bubba Watson does in his golf swing that helps him to hit the ball so far. And it's a move that you'll find pretty much all long drivers do. After showing you this move, I'll then explain how you can practice it. Here, we're combining 100 milliliters of motor oil with 100 milliliters of transmission fluid with 100 milliliters of oil-based yellow paint. This is the perfect storm of all spills, a nightmare spill scenario if it were on a roadway or in a workplace. So, you finally got your final editing timeline into After Effects. And now you have lots of cuts and you need to start working. But if you have a lot of composing work, you need to pre-compose each and every shot. Otherwise, things can get messy very quickly.
The cementite and ferrite are in the form of parallel plates called lamella. So, perlite is not a phase, but instead refers to a specific structure of ferrite and cementite. Cementite can also be present as particles, as shown in the image on the right. Chapter 7. Citizenship. The final hurdle. The civics test is an oral test, and the U.S. CIS officer will ask the applicant up to 10 of the 100 civics questions. An applicant must answer 6 out of 10 questions correctly to pass the civics portion of the naturalization test. But a word of warning. Once you've canned your first batch of peaches or strawberry jam, you'll likely be bitten with the canning bug. Before long, canning may become a full-blown obsession, and you'll find yourself scouring yard sales for jars or raiding neighbors' untended apple trees. How does a heat pump work? All refrigeration systems, including heat pumps, rely on the refrigerant's pressure-temperature relationship. Since refrigerant has a lower boiling point than most liquids, we can easily manipulate it so that the only heat source needed is room temperature air. When a refrigerant evaporates, or boils, it absorbs heat at a very high rate, as is the case with all liquefied gases. The Beatles and Hegel. Love is a common theme in the Beatles' repertoire. Think about how many of their songs have love in the title or as the main theme. Professor Jacob Held of the University of Central Arkansas says that in their early songs, love is often expressed as a simple juvenile crush. However, their understanding of love matures along with their music. The on-site survey continues if no IDLH conditions or other dangerous conditions are found. The entry team should note any safety hazards or indicators of potential exposure. Note all types of containers, any labels or markings, and their condition. Be sure to include if containers are damaged, corroded, leaking, or bulging.
Sir Isaac Newton worked on a number of physical problems during his lifetime. Newton formulated the basic laws of mechanics and discovered the universal law of gravitation. Newton is also well known for his work in light and optical devices. Finally, in his quest to understand physics, Newton developed a form of mathematical calculus. One of the most basic concepts within mechanics is that of force. The application of a force leads to the change in velocity of an object. A change in velocity, of course, implies acceleration, and that is exactly how Newton defined a force, as we shall see shortly.